Alright, let's talk about Battlefield 6, and I also want to talk about what it's been showing me about the state of gaming today, and something that I've learned while playing the beta that goes beyond Battlefield itself. I will never forget the Battlefield 3 open beta. Playing on Operation Metro, and then when they finally unlocked Caspian Border for us all to play, you could fly the jets, use the tanks, it was so beautiful. I'll never forget what that feeling was like. It blew my mind. Coming from games like Call of Duty, where it was very confined, and this whole open world multiplayer format, this large scale battle, I hadn't even been able to comprehend it until I was in it. And that's what Battlefield offered, was kind of an extension of the FPS imagination that I didn't even know was possible in my head. And it realized it. I sort of caught the tail end of Bad Company 2, and I caught Battlefield 3 as the beta was being released as well. Loved Battlefield 4 and 1, and then I fell off after that when it came to 5, and then 2042 was the ultimate disappointment, because I felt like they had a lot of opportunity to make that comeback. But the second that I played that open beta, I knew something was wrong. When the guns felt like paperweights, when the actual weather effects didn't really affect as much as they were advertising them to, and when I realized the actual maps themselves just weren't designed well. All of those things that had been staples of Battlefield to me were not even existent in 2042. But here we are in Battlefield 6, and it truly feels like those things are back. Battlefield is trying to make a comeback, and so far it's succeeding. Here's how I know this is a true Battlefield experience, and one that I love and also despise a little at the same time. The amount of helicopter crashes, the amount of kamikaze driving runs, the amount of ridiculous revivals or lack of revivals, they all scream Battlefield in the best and the worst way. But in the end, that's what makes Battlefield Battlefield, and that's what I love. The good and the bad, and especially the ugly. And upon browsing online, it actually looks like Battlefield 6 is something that almost all of the gaming world can agree is good. Can't believe what I'm seeing. It's kind of crazy to see, but people really seem to be loving this. People seem to be calling it the revival of Battlefield, which is really interesting to me. And it's interesting that I felt the same way. Whenever I see this general narrative, I find it in myself that I'm kind of trying to find the counter narrative, because people like to rage bait and there's all this hate around these new games that are coming out. But there are moments when something's so good it transcends all of that. Something like Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not comparing Battlefield 6's open beta to that, but I'm comparing the consensus to that. The way that people are receiving Battlefield 6 is like it's the second coming of gaming Jesus here. It's the best thing since sliced bread style. So it's really cool to see, because I loved Battlefield. It kind of took my attention away from Call of Duty, and I got hooked for those 3 games. So now that we're back, and people seem to be really excited about it, there's a really valuable lesson for us to learn. And it's really telling us something about what gamers really want. Beyond all of the rage, beyond all of the anti-rage, beyond all of that, we can parse through this reception to see what it is people really want from games, and how Battlefield 6's open beta is bringing that out. Now, there was another open beta that kind of had a reception to this degree. There wasn't as much of a social media presence as there is now. At least I didn't have one. And that was the Destiny open beta. That beta blew everybody's minds. Everybody was so excited for it. And it had the same kind of reception. It was like, holy cow, this is the new standard for the FPS genre. Now, it's interesting that I bring up Destiny here, because what the Battlefield 6 beta is showing us is that games like Destiny are done. Emotionally and mentally to us. We don't want them anymore. We don't want the live service. People are starting to get Battle Royale fatigue. That's what all of this is telling me. Because when we play Battlefield 6's open beta, we aren't playing any Battle Royale experiences, but we're primarily playing Breakthrough and Conquest. Large-scale, open-world matches that require a long attention span. They require a long time. It's not just die and you're gone. You have to die and keep going and going and going, and it requires this persistence that I think it's really cool to see people are feeling. They don't just give up when they die. People are finding the attention span because this game has been so good to keep going. I was worried for a long time that Battle Royales are sort of killing this drive for these longer format traditional multiplayer modes where you actually just keep going, you keep reviving. It's evenly paced. It's not drop in, drop out, that sort of thing. You don't leave after you die. I was worried that that was putting an end to all of this. But what this has shown me, what Battlefield 6 is showing me, showing all of us, is that no, there is room in the brains and the attention spans of gamers for a multiplayer game like this, and that's really cool to see. You know, one of my favorite things about back in the day when we used to play COD, Black Ops, Modern Warfare, Black Ops 2, when I was playing all those, one of my favorite parts about that, looking back now, I don't remember if I felt this way in the moment, I think I did, was that the in-between match lobbies provided us a moment to just talk, to rehash, kind of process what had just happened. There was a rhythm to it that was just special, and a rhythm that Battle Royales have never had. What this brings back is a rhythm like that. It's really cool to see. I just realized the lamp placement kind of makes it seem like I'm having an idea, and that's what you're witnessing. This video, boop, the idea has been created, me talking about it. But yeah, it's really cool to see that Battlefield's doing well. One thing that I was interested in with Battlefield 6 was how much they were going to lean into the destruction. You know, when it came to Bad Company 2, when it came to Battlefield 3, that was a big element that they were focusing on. Was, hey, so many things are destructible. And they sort of got away from that. And that was one of my favorite parts, and that was a lot of people's favorite parts about, it's what made Battlefield Battlefield. As well as the fact that Battlefield felt like a movie every time you played. A friend and I were just talking about this. That's what made Battlefield 1 great. Every time you play Battlefield 1, you feel like you're in a freaking movie. They don't have the destruction necessarily, but they have the really cool moments in open cinematic world maps. And if they're able to combine that in Battlefield 6, that's what I'm looking for. And that's what has delivered so far. They've had really cool moments with destructibility where the building's just falling down in front of you, the way the screen shakes, the visual's great. It's awesome, I love it. But they also have the cinematic moments, especially in the open world snowy map. It's something 43, I can't remember, Border 43? But something like that. It's very cinematic and very exciting to be a part of. You feel like you're in an epic landscape. It feels like they really are listening too. They've made immediate changes. They made Breakthrough its own specific mode after people complained about it not being. And it's just really cool to see. It seems like they're really trying and they know what's on the line. It would be really cool if other companies did this. If companies like, who developed Suicide Squad, the company that developed Suicide Squad, if they listen, if they see their failures, and it's panning out so well for Battlefield 6. People are tired of the attention span deficit that's present in Warzone, that's present in Fortnite. I don't think those games are dying by any means, but I think there's enough people that are interested in doing more of a long format like this. Now, it's hard to tell if this is going to last. It very well couldn't. People could just be excited. Open betas get people excited almost all the time. It doesn't really take much. But I'm feeling like there's something that is carrying over here. That it's telling me something about the general feelings that people have right now about the state of multiplayer games in general. By the way, I'm also a huge fan of Battlefield 1943. Really cool, fun, interesting game. You should try that one out too if you haven't. But anyways, I just think it's really interesting. And I think that this beta means more than just Battlefield's revival. I think that there's actually something real going on in terms of people's fatigue with battle royales and live service. I think it's all kind of tied together. And it's just always interesting to me to see what people will form a consensus around. And thus we have. So I'm part of the majority. I agree this time. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've been enjoying the beta as well, or if you're going to pick it up. So thanks for watching.